Americans are absolutely struggling today with the cost of living at an all-time high and wages absolutely stagnant and not growing at all. You just have everything from rent to groceries to utility bills, even getting a haircut just getting more and more expensive. That's why, look, you see my hair? I can't even afford to get a haircut. This is why my hair looks like this. I mean, this is just getting insane. I don't know how they expect people to live on these wages with just rising costs like this. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. That's why in this video, you're going to see people talk about breaking down their costs and how some people are struggling to even feed their kids. Does anyone in a position of power really seem to care? The situation is getting so bad in America, and many Americans feel hopeless. Keep watching.
Some lady got on her page and said living paycheck to paycheck isn't poverty. Yes, the fuck it is. Like, what do y'all be talking about? Yes, the fuck it is. It's definitely poverty in America.
So we're not going to pretend that a higher cost of living doesn't have some people in a chokehold, which makes it nearly impossible for them to get ahead. But we're also not going to pretend that some of you aren't using the excuse that you're living paycheck to paycheck as a way to justify not saving. Some people don't know what it means to really live paycheck to paycheck, and they assume that if they get their check and at the end of the month they have nothing left over, that they fall in that category, and that explains why they can't get ahead and why they don't have anything in savings. And unfortunately, it's this type of thinking that keeps a lot of people stuck. Living paycheck to paycheck means that all or a good portion of your income goes to expenses and there is nothing left over. There isn't anything left over to save. There isn't any left over for discretionary spending. So basically, what you bring in is pretty much to cover your basic expenses. So if you're able to eat out multiple times a week and you're spending hundreds of dollars every single month on entertainment, recreation, miscellaneous spending, travel, you are not living paycheck to paycheck. There is money to be saved, but the issue is that you're not making it a priority. And one of the first steps to breaking out of this rut and finally getting ahead financially is acknowledging that. Now, this does not mean that every dime that you earn has to go towards savings, but what it does mean is that you have to get honest about your level of spending. So one thing that I always suggest, especially for people who are starting out, is to go through all of your expenses, look at how much you're spending on extras, and then split it in half. So if you're currently spending $600 a month on stuff that's not important, cut it in half. Spend $300 on non-essentials and put $300 into savings.
Pay period, we have to pay the house, car, our insurance, our internet, the NIPSCO, and the trash. Okay, and if we get paid our normal amount, subtract our bills, we are left with negative $300. That sounds great, right? Negative 300. Okay, so what if we don't pay the NIPSCO bill? Nope. That one's already a month past due. It'll get shut off. Pay the NIPSCO for sure. Cell phone. Okay, I can wait a couple weeks on the cell phone, but that's still not going to be enough. I can wait on the trash too. That'll give us $170. Can I make that last for 2 weeks for groceries and gas? But the kids are going to need lunch money.
And then after you figure out all the bills that you have to skip and put off and realize you're a month behind on all of your bills, you realize all the things you're not going to be able to do for months. And Christmas is coming up, and Halloween, and Thanksgiving. You remember when they told us we should have 6 months worth of living savings? We should have 6 months worth of bills saved up so that if anything happens, you're okay until you get another job. We're like a flat tire away from destruction. I'm never going to get caught up at this point. It's amazing what a couple $1,000s would do for my budget right now. And there's people out there with billions of dollars. A couple thousand would just let me get my head a little bit above. I'm just drowning. It's up to here and I'm lucky to get up and gasp every once in a while. And trying not to show your kids how hard it is the worst. I never want my kids to feel it or worry. They're 7 and 10. They don't need to know. We're like a missing paycheck a week from not having a house. Kids don't need to know that. They don't need to know that. So when people say they're living paycheck to paycheck, we're living 3 paychecks ahead to 3 paychecks ahead at this point, because the paycheck I'm about to get is gone and then some. I called my mom to ask for some money the other day. $30. I was like, Mom, do you have $30 I can have? No, we don't even have $30. She's like, I was gonna ask you for some money. I'm over it. I'm tired of surviving. I want to live a little. Just a little. Without feeling guilty. Oh, you could budget better. You could do this. You could do that. With what? With what?
Am I the only one that doesn't think you're living paycheck to paycheck if you can afford to put money toward retirement and an HSA account and other things like that? Like, I see people talking about how 6 figures, at 6 figures, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. And I thought with like savings accounts and this and that, and I'm like, I thought paycheck to paycheck meant if your paycheck, if you didn't get the next one, you ain't gonna be able to eat. You ain't gonna be able to keep a roof over your head. You ain't gonna be able to whatever. Like, I thought it meant if I don't get that check, I'm destitute. I didn't think it meant like, oh, after I've paid all my bills and contributed to my savings, I don't have a lot of money left to go have fun and do things and whatever. You know what I mean? I don't think that is paycheck to paycheck. I think it's something, right? It's uncomfortable. It's not enough. It's not whatever. But it's not what I think paycheck to paycheck means. I think paycheck to paycheck means you will be destitute if you don't get the next one. Am I wrong?
I just paid my rent, right? And I'm so happy I got my rent paid. But for some reason, I still have an unsettling feeling. And I think it's because I used my whole check to pay my rent. Now I have to go 2 more weeks without money. And my phone bill is due tomorrow. You see what I'm saying here? You see what I'm trying to get at here? That is the true definition of living from paycheck to paycheck. Like, I just literally pay bills. I can't do anything else. I can't even buy me a bottle if I wanted to. Like, and I'm trying to figure out I know how it got like this because it seems like a lot of places have stopped paying their employees. Like, my job doesn't pay me overtime anymore. Like, I literally went from being able to make up to $2,000 to now I can barely make $1,000. So I can make over $1,000. I'm not saying but it's at the cost of overworking myself. And I'm not gonna keep overworking myself just for a little $1,500-$1,600 check. I'm not doing that. And I'm honestly very baffled at the amount of money that we make for the amount of work that we do. I still haven't heard back from the other job. They keep telling me I'm still trying to get cleared. And I'm like, how? When I should already be in the system. I literally work for your sister company. But, yeah. I can't even, bask in the moment of knowing that I paid my rent. Because, one, I had to use, 4 different loan apps. That's what I did when I got this apartment. I used loan apps because I was still short from paying the moving fee and the first month's rent. So I have to wait till my pay bills back up to pay those back. And then when I pay those back, I'm completely broke. I don't have anything behind that. I literally have to wait 14 days for another check, and I will still be broke because I will have to pay back my pay, and I'm about to cut that feature off so I never have to deal with it again. So that's already half of my check gone. And then I have to pay for my afterpays. Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. And I'm just really sitting here thinking to myself, wow. I'm in shock. I keep thinking people in Asia, they literally pay their rent and still got a bottle to go out and go get some soju and pork belly. while I'm sitting up here, I can't even go buy a stick of gum. Insane. And people are delusional and call this the land of the free. Baby, no, this is like that man said, Baffle, I think his name, I don't really remember, but This is a dictatorship. And I actually been saying that. But yeah, this is a dictatorship. This is not no land of the free. This is not no land of the free at all. This is definitely a dictatorship. I also wanted to say thank you to Nathia for helping me. Like, your donation was literally, like, it was enough. It was touching. Like, that really like it showed me that, you know, some people do care. I really did appreciate that. But yeah, that's my rant for today.
Anyone else worried about their bills right now? Like, for me personally, my take-home paychecks are less than how much I have to spend on bills per pay period. Like, I don't know what's happened in the last several months. Like, last year, I was in a position where I had enough money in my account to pay for my bills. Now, I'm worried that my account is going to overdraft because the amount I get paid is less than how much my bills cost for that pay period. And honestly, it's a scary feeling, like, to be in a position where you don't have enough money to pay your bills and you have to tap into your savings, or you have to do a cash advancement or something like that. Like, that's really scary. And I fear that it's only going to get worse. Like, I might be in a position where I clear out my savings because I don't have enough money to pay my bills. Anyone else feel that way, or is it just me?
I think I've been a little too nice lately. I think I've been a little too patient with people lately. I think I have given men so much grace that they didn't deserve lately. I think feral Courtney's coming the fuck back. But not feral in the same way as I was last time, just fucking everybody. No. I'm gonna fuck everybody, but mentally. I'm gonna make them think I give a shit. I've kind of already started it. I was at the bar on Friday, and I made this man pay for 3 Ubers, and then met me at the bar I was at, and we Ubered back to his place. I'd already hooked up with him before. Pretty bad, honestly. But when we got to his place, drunkenly realized, I actually don't want to fuck this person. So I left, and he was very mad. And then he was blowing up my phone, being like, what a complete waste of my time. You made me do this, this, and this again, because I've made him do that before. I just said, you still did it, though. So I think that's the Courtney that's gonna come back. I'm in a play right now, so that's how I'm letting out that energy. But I just have a lot of rage. I have a lot of rage right now, because I really didn't think I hated myself that much to deal with all the shit that I've been fucking dealing with. Right? Right. So I think, I don't know if it's feral Courtney, I think it's evil Courtney. I think she's here, and I think she's ready.
It's officially week 5 of unemployment. I did not make vlogs for week 4. I kind of like lost steam, and it was also my time of the month, so I wasn't feeling as motivated. But it was Valentine's Day weekend, and we went out to dinner, and then we also made pad see ew and dumplings and stayed home on Valentine's Day. We went to dinner the day before, but it was so much fun. I think I'm gonna keep pad see ew in the rotation. And we also, since then, have gotten a new vacuum. It is a Miele vacuum, and it's German. So apparently German vacuums are supposed to be really good. If you had asked me like 2 months ago what kind of vacuum I would want, I probably would have said Dyson, just because I feel like those are marketed really well, but apparently German vacuums will last forever. So essentially, it's like I purchased a Birkin. I will show you guys the vacuum later, but it has really good suction settings, and you do have to plug it in while you're using it, but it is great. Like, I was cleaning the baseboards. It sucks up everything. It is good for carpets and hardwood. So I don't know, just exciting 30-year-old purchases for our Valentine's Day gift to each other. This past weekend, I actually got to go to Ojai. It's spelled Ojai for those people who are unfamiliar, but I went for a bachelorette and it was so much fun. It was kind of like a chill bachelorette and the weather was perfect. We did yoga at the Airbnb and we went out for drinks and dinner, and we actually saw Hilary Duff in Ojai and with her husband, and I think she was like celebrating her album release by just like getting away for the weekend. But Ojai was really cool. I didn't know what to expect. It was like, I thought it was going to be kind of like Palm Springs. It's kind of like a hippie-ish but trendy, smallish town. And I feel like a lot of the people visiting were from LA. Like everyone looked really effortlessly cool, but I don't know how to explain it. It was very cool, and I do want to go back. It's not that far. It was like an hour and a half drive from LA. Today, I actually went to a coffee shop in Culver City. I feel like the customer service in Culver City is actually not that good. Like whenever I go places, they're just not very nice, and I don't think they listen to what I'm saying. Like I went to a cafe, and first of all, I got an iced matcha latte with a little bit of honey and oat milk. And it came out to $9 and something. And I tipped $1, so it was over $10. And then they asked me if I wanted it for here or to go. And I had my laptop and I was ready to sit down, so I said for here. So they gave me a number. Then they called my name at the counter, so I went up to get it, and then I gave them the number, and they're like, "Are you waiting for something?" And I said, "No, it was for my matcha." Anyways, they didn't listen to me. And then I went to Goodwill and did a little haul to scratch the shopping itch. So I'll do another video on what I got. But that's my update. Maybe I'll continue doing daily videos, but I felt like they were getting a little boring. Okay, that's all. Bye.
So, as of today, I am back in the unemployment line. I was laid off this morning. I made it to like exactly 10 months of employment. I got the job I was just laid off from. I got this job April of last year because December 2024, I was laid off from the company I was at that time due to operational downsizing, and this was due to org restructuring. Did not see this one coming. The difference with the other one is I kind of got like a 60-day notice. Like everybody kind of got a 60-day notice. This was completely left field. And what's sad about this one is I landed at the company and in the field that I really wanted to be in, to apply my skills in the way that I was. So I work in supply chain management, and I wanted to apply my skills in like a healthcare capacity. I wanted to work somewhere where I was like, contributing to like a great impact. And I was literally doing that. My manager was great. So this one stings. It stings. But I am choosing to, I guess, just approach it differently than I've approached being laid off before. I've already done my checklist. My resume's been updated. I've already started, sending out fillers to my network. Already applied to some jobs and reactivated LinkedIn Premium. Hopefully I'll only need it for the free 30 days and I'll have landed something where I could deactivate it again and touch base, message recruiters for the jobs that I've applied for so far. I did my unemployment. If you got laid off recently, go do your unemployment, file that claim. Ironically, I'm going on vacation on a trip on Friday. So I guess I'll just be on vacation a little bit longer than I planned. I'll come back, but you know, just gonna do what I know I gotta do. And for whatever reason, God said that, you know, my time there was up and it was time to move. So one thing I know for sure is that God knows that I got bills to pay. So where we going? Where are we working? What's going on? But yeah, we can consider this day one of looking for a new job.
I may never post this video, but I wanted to document it because I am on my way to an interview, and this, if I get this job, this will determine whether or not I stay in the state of Maryland. So this is me before the interview. I should have got out my car, but anyway, I'm bringing the sunshine, and I will check back in and tell you how it went. All right, so I'm walking in. I already said my prayer. I don't know, I just feel like this is my job. I do. I really do. Why I showed up 30 minutes early? 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Talk about eager. I didn't realize how close I lived to the place. But I'm about to go get me some coffee and come back because that's a little too thirsty. Okay, so I forgot to report back from the car, but the interview portion went well. The writing test, they gave me 30 minutes. I did my best, and that's all I can say. I did my best. I gave God the glory, and I did my best. So
it was trash when 2 years ago I was trying to get me a part-time, and I applied to 150 jobs. Please ask me if I got a job. But you know, I did end up getting a job, but the 150 jobs, like, it just felt like it probably, like, on the average took me probably 2 months to find me a part-time. But it just felt like nobody was reaching me back at that moment. Maybe because, like, I don't know what was going on, but like, it was really bad. So I feel when people be saying like, oh, you know, the job market is trash, I don't discourage you to stop applying to jobs. Bitch, just apply to 200, which is crazy, but it's like, golly.
I don't think people realize just how bad the job market is. Let me break it down. I know somebody right now, like currently at this moment, who has a master's degree, in like IT or whatever. They cannot find a job. This is not a joke. They cannot find a job. They have the experience. I think they even have a certification, the master's degree, everything. They can find a job. I think they work at a movie theater right now. That's the reality. So when y'all get on here and y'all telling all these people like, oh, breaking IT is so easy. It's so, y'all need to do it. It's not as easy as it seems. Because not only, you're competing with thousands of people. I saw a job application go from, it literally said posted 20 minutes ago, it already had 100 applicants. You're competing with thousands of people. And then it's like crazy. And then once you get into the hiring process, IT, you're going through 6 rounds of the hiring process. By the time you get the job, it's 3 months later from when you actually apply for it. That's the reality right now. People working in IT. That's the reality. It makes me wish that I picked a different field because this is actually getting insane, but
was on TikTok, my For You page, a woman popped up and she was like, me and my husband make $150,000 a year. A lot, right? Well, to me, that's a lot. And she's like, we live paycheck to paycheck. And I'm like, wait, in my head, I'm like, we live paycheck to paycheck. You make $150,000. How are you living paycheck to paycheck? And she was just saying, like, even if you make more, you still live paycheck to paycheck. And now I'm in my brain like, so we're trying to grind to make all this money, but we're still going to live paycheck to paycheck? Like, that's what she's making me think. And I don't want to believe that's true, but is that technically true? She's like, I have a house, I have 2 cars, I do this and this with my kids, but we still live paycheck to paycheck. And I'm like, is there even a point of trying to grind? Like, is there a point where you're just like catching the money, but you still live paycheck to paycheck? Like, it's like a circle. It would be never ending. And I'm just like, for people that actually make $150,000, Do you live paycheck to paycheck? Is that true? Because I don't want to believe it's true.
A lot of people don't talk about living paycheck to paycheck until they're out of it. But I want to be completely real with you. As a professional, a working professional, I am in the middle of it and I live paycheck to paycheck. It really hit me this morning, like, I've always talked about it in private. I've always journaled about it, but I'm in a season where I'm just like, nah, I think this conversation needs to be talked about while we're in it and not when we get out of it, because it may help someone else. And once we build community, we all really can start thriving. Don't get me wrong, we all love a good TikTok blow up story from ashes to riches. What about the point when you are tired, you are embarrassed to even admit the fact that you have been robbing Peter just to pay Paul? Some people may be too private to even share this, but for me, I wouldn't be authentic if I did not share this with what I learned so far, and I hope that it adds value to your life and you can go and apply it to what you need to apply it to. Or you can even share it with somebody who may be going through the same thing where y'all talk in private and they don't want to address it in front of a whole bunch of people, thousands, millions. The first thing is either you're going to cut back or either you're going to figure out how to make some more money, period. And honestly, we need to do both. There's no in between. Both of them is the answer. Robbing Peter to pay Paul is a cycle that'll leave you broke. It'll leave you feeling helpless. It'll leave you miserable. That is a vicious cycle that will keep you in the same loop. Okay, we gotta stop that. All right, and this is something that I recently did that I found very helpful. Number 3, you need to retrain your thinking about money. You need to look at how you relate to money. A friend of mine suggested that I learn a skill. I learned the skill, but then I also was able to take away money management, or like my perception of what I considered an asset really changed, right? Needs versus wants, but not even just needs versus want, but even if I wanted something, could I get a return on my money spent? Like, is there a value coming from it, right? If I don't see any value coming from it, then honestly, I probably don't need to spend my money on it. 9 times out of 10, not even a probably, I don't need to spend my money on it. Also, it's understanding why you chase the things that you chase. Most of the times, your purchases and the things that you're spending your money on is all emotional. Even when you decide that you want to go out and have a drink at the bar, it's emotional, okay? When you want to go to the shop, you want to go to the mall, you want to go shop, you want to buy a new dress, you want to buy the new heels, you want to buy something new, it's because you're trying to get a high. When you buy something new, you do feel better. I ain't gonna lie. I'll be feeling like, oh, yes. You scratch the itch. But then after that, you realize, like, fuck, I did not need to buy that. Like, I needed to save that money. I don't care because it was $30. You could save that goddamn $30. Do something else with it. Put it in your savings account. Put it towards the credit card. There's other things you could have did with that $30. Know you're wondering, how do you get out of this? And I absolutely do not have a one-size-fit-all answer for you or for me. If nothing else sticks in this video, it will be that it's going to take some small intentional habits, little by little. You got in debt over time. You began living paycheck to paycheck pretty much over time, and it just got worse. So that means we're going to have to scale back slowly and start making intentional habits, making intentional small choices to get to where we want to be. Honestly, you're not lazy, you're not a failure, you're just in a very tight season, and we just got to figure out how to get the hell up out of it. It's not permanent, and I say it's not permanent because that's only if you're willing to be accountable, have discipline, and do what you need to do to make your life better.
16%. You're telling me that youth unemployment is at 16%. I don't think there's any other example of how a country is failing its young people. I don't think it's talked about enough how young people are just being failed. You're following the pipeline, you're getting your degree, you're going to uni, you're getting your work experience, and you still can't land a job. It speaks so highly on the type of economy that we live in at the moment.
Honestly, it's really difficult to be unemployed for so long. It's been about like 6 months for me, and all my friends are like, oh, you should apply here, you know, get a job and stuff like that. And it's like, it's not that easy, bro. Like, I would have gotten a job if it was that easy. And also, I'm coming from a place where I want to have a better job than I had last time, and I don't know if that's going to happen, actually. And a lot of these jobs are hiring, they only want like $20 an hour, or like they're paying you like nothing, and I don't feel like that's going to be good for me, you know, and I'm going to get back into my situation. You know, for me, I was making like 25 to 30 an hour, so I was just trying to make more. And now I'm making a lot less, but I mean, that was my choice, you know, but my mental health at the time for the job, I was like, bro, I can't just keep doing this job, and I just couldn't take it anymore. I didn't have a choice. I just didn't think it would just take this long to find another job, you know? It's crazy. Like, soon I'm gonna have to start door dashing or Uber Eats, or even now I'm trying. But even if when I do that, like, they'll just take it out my unemployment. So what's the point of even doing it, you know? Like, just...
This is so sad, and seeing some of these clips really made me almost cry, because you have just the mom sitting down and doing some math with everyone and figuring out how she just doesn't have any money left after paying all the bills, and she barely has enough to buy groceries to feed her kids. I mean, in the richest country the earth has ever seen, this should not be the reality for many of its citizens. I would say at this point, though, this situation seems to be getting worse and worse, and nobody seems to be coming to the rescue, because a lot of people in position of power don't even admit right now that there's a problem. There's a greater cost of living problem, and there's a wage problem, meaning that Americans are paying more than ever before for all their bills, groceries, for their utilities, for their rent, yet their wages have not grown accordingly, and jobs are becoming harder and harder to come by. So the workers have less and less leveraging power against companies that want to hire them. That's why you have people graduating from college and they can only find an entry-level job that pays them like $12 an hour. I mean, seriously, how do they expect people to survive on a wage like that in this economy? It's just not possible. I mean, this is just absolutely crazy and really heartbreaking. At some point, we have to say enough is enough and start doing something about it, because I don't think this is going to slow down anytime soon. Let me know what you guys think about this. Thank you.